Hi, welcome to the Big Split News Watch. Welcome to Focus. My name is Michael Richmond, and with me today, I have a young law student who's going to detail to us how our family brushes with the law has impacted our decision to become a lawyer. Her name is Reanna McGarrel, and she's going to share her story with us today on the Big Smith News Watch. Hi, Miss Reanna. First and foremost, welcome to the Big Smith News Watch, and it's such a privilege to have you here. So for our viewers who don't know who Reanna McGarrel is, do you mind sharing a bit about yourself with us?
Sure. So just like Michael would have stated, my name is Reanna McGarrel. I'm 21 years of age, hailing all the way from Linden, so big up to all my Linden people. I love God and I have a passion for justice.
Great. Justice is a very strong word. I always said I want to name my daughter Justice. Nevertheless, but law, what actually sparked your interest in law?
All right, so that's a good question. For me, growing up, I used to really hide behind my words and what I wanted to say. I had persons speak for me, even though I wanted to speak for myself. So, knowing the nature of law, I saw law as an opportunity for me to express myself and be able to speak up for myself. And besides that, I had family members, I've seen family members being marginalized, I've seen them being treated badly by the law enforcement officers, and I just said, hey, if I'm given the opportunity to pursue a degree in law, I will, so that I'm able to help them and other persons that would have been facing the same thing.
Great. That will be facing the same stuff. But I think it is very important, for us, human beings, individuals to actually make an impact in anything we do, whether it be in law, whether it be in, a farmer, anything in the start, which now forces me to ask my next question. As a young woman pursuing a career in law, what impact do you hope to make in the legal field?
Thank you very much for that question. Well, the impact I'd hope to make is one of legacy, one where generations can come and see what I've done and say like, hey, if she can come from nothing to something and be able to do something so great, then I can too. Also to make an impact for young people looking up to me. Hopefully they're able to see that as long as you reach for the stars, you are surely to even reach there or on the clouds, you see. And also we know that in Guyana, we have a domestic violence rate of 55%, which is the highest in the Caribbean. So if I'm able to make some sort of impact in that regard, whether it is being a part of a non-governmental organization or even creating one to help persons.
It's very good that you actually mentioned domestic violence because women, are at the end of, receiving, this more actually than men. Leads me now to my third question. Also, how do you perceive the role of women in the legal profession, particularly in terms of leadership position and representations?
All right, so leadership position and representation with females in the legal industry. Well, we know that we would have come a long way.
Definitely.
Yes, we would have come a long way. And now we have representation, our Chief Justice, Honorable Justice, Madam Roxanne George, and we also have our Chancellor of the Judiciary for Guyana being Honorable Justice, Madam Yonette Cummins Edwards, right? We have them representing us in very well regards. Also, fun fact, my first legal job that I had a female attorney hire me, and even my aspirations or other female attorneys that inspired me would be Anastasia Sanford.
Yeah.
I would have watched an interview with her and it really inspired me. Like if she could have done it, I could have done it. From her staying back at UG, studying, even if she had to sleep under the desk and chairs just to ensure that she passed the exam, that type of drive definitely inspired me.
But with life, with every success story, there's always the challenges. Definitely are the challenges. What are some of the challenges, you faced to be where you at this moment?
Good point. Indeed, there are always challenges. And for me, like I said, growing up, I always had persons say a lot of things. You can't do this. This is not for you. I've even had persons say, oh, you should be a nurse, right? But I've always had my passion. So one of the challenges is definitely moving past things that people say or think for you And we know that the law degree is not cheap.
Yep.
So I would say that would have also been a challenge, but God would have mindfully crafted opportunities, people, and just created ways for that to be dealt with.
Great. The law field is such a huge place. It's so big, whether being with both male and females. We could look at some guys like Nigel Huge, Hugh Fields and Stowe. So we could look at that whole law firm. So we could find a bunch of different people that we could call role models. Leads me again to my next question. Have you encountered any mentors or role models within the legal field?
Definitely. I have encountered mentors and role models, not just being females, as I would have mentioned a few earlier, but I've also encountered males.
Yeah.
And that would have been from me putting myself out there, working at legal chambers, even while going to UG, just to push myself, just to make a name for myself.
Yeah.
And even working at the Bar Association of Guyana, I've been able to network with a few attorneys, which have really helped me along the way.
It's very good that you're networking, because I believe when we network, I think, it helps us also to be a bit more professional in the way we go about doing stuff. As a young woman, how do you navigate the balance between assertiveness and professionalism in a male-dominated field like law?
All right. Well, we know we have females dominating now.
As of now.
But as it relates to assertiveness and professionalism, I would say as a woman, a young woman, we have to be very careful as to how we put across information. So for me, I would watch my words, my body language, be careful with what I say. So even when I want to say something, it doesn't come across as rude, which can really be something really bad for persons. But also being able to say what I want to say, I would even rehearse my conversations with myself.
Yeah.
So when it's put to people, I'm able to put it across quite nicely. So in that way, I'm able to say what I want to say without compromising my own values and goals, and being able to say exactly what I want to say to kind of find that balance.
Oh, so you're kind of like, all right, cool, I understand. Are there any particular areas of law that you are drawn to or find particularly interesting?
Of course. Well, I would have already mentioned the domestic violence, gender-based violence. And another area I'm very passionate about would be employment rights. A lot of persons don't know their employment rights. You just get the job, you do the interview, you feel okay, you're hired. And there's a lot of ways in which persons don't know their employment rights, their human rights, and other areas. As long as the person's rights are being infringed upon, those are areas that I'm always going to be passionate about.
Great. I must say that you're preparing now to probably head over to Wood Law School, which is by the grace of God, which is a very big step again. Congratulations, for where you at right now and where you intend to be in the near future. Also, what steps are you taking to build a strong network and establish connections within the legal community?
Good. Thank you for that question. So being willing, the reason why I've come this far is because I've always been very willing. If someone asks me to do something, regardless of what it is, I try to be willing. Even as recently, UG would have had the International Human Rights Conference, and just by being willing and going out there, I was able to network with the CEO of the Indigenous Rights Community. I was able to network with the Ethnic Commissions Relations Officer just by being willing, putting myself out there, asking questions. And naturally, persons would be interested in what you have to say, and you're able to network from there.
I'm a huge fan of Johnny Cochran. I don't know if I guess you should know who that is. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. I'm a huge fan of Johnny Cochran. To me, he's one of the greatest lawyers that ever graced the face of this earth. Winning that OJ case was, I think, was a 1% to 99 chance he had to win that case some years ago. But before he died, he spoke a lot about moot court, which is something you've had the privilege to actually, being a part of. Do you mind sharing a bit about that experience for you?
Yes, so I would have had the opportunity to be a part of the moot court. It was an amazing experience to be a part of the moot competition. I was able to have this kind of like first-hand experience, being in the court,
Yeah.
before judges, the entire protocol of standing, bowing, everything.
Yeah.
So that opportunity would have really helped me to have a first-hand experience, and it was quite amazing.
Okay, and for our final questions, this has been such a wonderful interview up to this moment. It feels, so good understanding a bit how we know you can, how you could go about networking and things of these nature. So on to our final question, Reanna. What advice would you give to other young women, but not only young women also, but also young men who are endeavoring into law also, who are considering pursuing a career in law? Are there any specific resources or strategies that have helped you along the way?
All right. So I would say if you want to pursue law, ensure that you're doing it for the right reasons. It's quite natural to think about the money at first, because I mean that's the reason why we're working, so that we can have money. But doing it for the right reasons will help you when it gets tough. Because when I was in second year, I wanted to take a year leave. And when I remember the reason why I wanted to do it, that was enough to propel me to continue. So I would say do it for the right reasons and you will be okay. And strategies or resources that would have helped me was asking for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. People are actually very willing to help. We understand that the legal field could be very hostile and very competitive, but persons feel very good when they're able to help you. Some persons, well, at least the persons I've encountered. So asking for help, being open, not being too prideful will definitely help you along your journey. And come on, if I could have done it, you could do it. Coming from nothing to something is definitely a great accomplishment.
Great. She talks about doing it for the right reason as much as she has endeavored into the law field based upon the brushes with the law. Well, basically, our family brushes with the law and other, great aspiring reasons. Young Reanna McGarrel has a very good story to tell, and we here at the Big Smith do hope and one day hope that, we can hear young Reanna McGarrel name up there with the big ones, the Nigels and the other guys. So Reanna, again, thank you for being here with us on the Big Smith News Watch. Again, it's been such a privilege to talk to you, to understand the reason behind your decision and also where you intend to go in the near future. Thank you so much for being here again with us on the Big Smith News Watch. I want to say, thank you. I want to say a big thanks or a big shout out to my technical operator, Mr. Dwayne Ross. Until next time, guys. Bye.